What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Moose Milk Podcast. This is episode 68. I'm your host, Ryan. I'm going to wait for Matt to join us, but hope everybody had a great week. And living the springtime, I don't know, fun, love, weather, good times. Tonight we're going to talk Moon Knight. I almost forgot what the show was called. That's how much I like it. Moon Knight episode 5. So there will be spoilers for Moon Knight, so be prepared for that. And some other things that I've been watching. I'm sure Matt has been watching some things now that he's back home. Obviously, we're not together anymore. Matt left. And here's Matt. There's Matthew right there. Okay.
What up?
What's up, buddy?
We're not sitting next to each other this week.
Yeah, how weird is that, right?
I know, right? So weird.
I miss you already.
I miss you too.
How's being home?
Great.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's great.
Yeah. Don't blame you one bit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, man, it's good. I mean, sucks to go back to work, but
yeah. Always does. Always does.
Is what it is, I guess, right? But
the week after vacation is always the hardest week.
It was difficult, yeah. But it's weird because I didn't go back till Tuesday, and then this week coming up, I'm taking Monday off again. So it's 2 weeks in a row of having 4-day work weeks. It's nice.
It's the way it should be always.
I'm going to Seattle this weekend with Kate. We're going to some Neil Gaiman thing. Do you know who Neil Gaiman is?
Never heard of him. Okay. Right
Check out what I found randomly.
Got them in my fridge, buddy.
I love them. They're so good.
I don't know. I've only had one so far, and it gave me a massive migraine. Well, I don't know if it gave me a massive migraine or not, but I got a really bad headache after I drank it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stick with the Coke right now.
That's good. That sounds better, but
delicious.
Apple bubbly. Tastes like watered down apple juice, but it's good.
Yeah, I didn't mind the taste of it or anything, but yeah, I got a super bad headache after I had it. So
not me, thank God.
I'll give it a whirl again after I don't have to do a podcast or anything. I don't want to be sitting here going
I understand. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't give you a headache.
Hopefully we get
send the case to me.
Coincidence. Yeah, I'll ship them to you.
That would make a lot of sense.
One can at a time.
Each one shows up just in a soggy envelope. It's just
I'll put it inside a sock so my sock absorbs the apple, and then you can just suck on the sock and bring it into your mouth.
Gross.
Yeah, really gross. What'd you watch this week? What'd you do this week? Anything exciting? How was your work in progress Wednesday?
It was good, man. I had my buddy Draven on, and we both worked. I did a little less than I wanted to, but that's okay. I did this little alligator Loki.
Oh, very nice. Yep.
So yeah, he printed it for me, and then I painted it while we were.
That's really cool.
Show.
Nice.
And then I painted that. He also made this head sculpt from the guy who made my logo.
Oh, nice.
So so I painted that as well.
I dig it.
And yeah, I've been working on a bunch of other shit that I can't show, which is sad.
That's fair.
Easy to read name says Doctor Strange is somehow out in a week. I know, it's crazy, right?
Feels like so quick.
I'm pretty excited about it though.
Same, so am I. So yeah, obviously that's what our episode will be next week is the Moon Knight finale and Doctor Strange into the Multiverse of Madness. Spoilers.
Oh yes. I watched this week. I didn't watch much this week because I really spent a lot of time customizing. But we watched on Monday a documentary called White Hot. It's about Abercrombie and Fitch, and it was
I saw it on Netflix, but I didn't watch it.
It was very interesting.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. Oh, cool. The Fallen Vet's here. That's fun.
I'll have to give it a watch then.
Yeah, it's about a clothing company, but it's like it's pretty interesting and it's pretty crazy that they got away with what they did. So
Fair enough.
yeah, it was yeah, man, it was pretty cool. And then other than that, I just caught up on my usual toy podcast that I do, and I think I posted on my Instagram, but this week's Conan O'Brien needs a fan episode on the podcast that he does was fucking hilarious. Oh my god, it was so funny.
So, I saw a girl, like, I guess he like takes requests or something for fans to be on that show, or I'm not exactly sure how it works, but
so
there's a girl from Ontario going to be on it.
Oh, nice. The girl that was on this week's episode was from Detroit, which was kind of
cool. Cool.
Yeah. And there's been lots of people who have been like from like the BC, like from my area. He's had a few people from BC. So, but yeah, he does every Wednesday. He does Conan O'Brien Needs a Fan, which is when he interviews a fan, and they're about 20-minute episodes.
Nice.
And then he does Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend on Mondays. So yeah, it's pretty cool. This week he had Molly Shannon on. It was also very funny.
I'm not a big Molly Shannon fan, but
I'm not either. But her story is really interesting. You know, her mom and her sister died in a car accident when she was like 4 years old or 5 years old or something like that. Isn't that crazy?
That's terrible.
I know. So
thanks.
Yeah, that's pretty much
showing me a follow.
What's that? Oh, nice.
Follow Pet started following me. I appreciate that.
That's sweet. Thanks. What did you watch?
Yeah, no, that's terrible, but yeah, that's an interesting story, at least. I mean, that she, was able to overcome that and still be successful,
Yeah, man. Yeah. She was quite a little grifter. Like, she was telling a couple stories about how she got like a TV show or her contracts, like for when she was starting out as a actor or whatever. And her other friend would like call people, like different agents, and like lie that they were from somewhere else, and would actually like get hooked up with like real people and like get good like contracts and stuff and good jobs. It was pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that now because like everything's online and everything's like so connected that like you can't really scam that way anymore,
No, not that way. So what did you watch? You watched a lot of stuff.
I watched so much shit.
You watched way more than I did.
Yeah, no. So last week I forgot to mention because I was just so excited you were sitting beside me that my brain wasn't working well. The last season of Better Call Saul started last week with 2 episodes, and then there was the 3rd episode this week. And like, I just can't recommend that show enough. It's so fucking good. It's, a prequel to Breaking Bad, but it stands alone. So if you haven't seen Breaking Bad, you can totally just start from the beginning of Better Call Saul, and you'll be fine. Like, it's not necessary that you know everything going on in Breaking Bad, but I'm a huge Breaking Bad fan. It's my favorite show of all time. So I was very like hesitant going into Better Call Saul. I was just like, how can they do a spin-off that's going to be anywhere near as good as this? And it's fucking awesome. So
how many seasons is there? This is the last one you said, but how many?
Yeah, this is the 6th season. So it's actually getting split into 2 halves again, but they're only like separated by a few months. Like I think there's 6 episodes now and 6 episodes in a few months. But it's really, really good. So I recommend that. Also, the final season of Ozark came out today. I watched all 7 episodes today.
How many episodes? How many hours are like? How long is an episode?
Hour.
Damn, dude. You committed.
So I watched 7 hours of Ozark today. I don't want to spoil it for anybody that, it just came out. Nobody's, other than me, has probably watched all 7 episodes today. So I'll say that I love the show. I love the actors in it. I think it's really well done, really well written. I was a little disappointed with the last couple episodes. I just didn't feel like it ended exactly how I wanted it to. Not saying it's bad, just it could have been better.
Thought something different.
Yeah. But I recommend it. It's great. I really hope that some of the younger actors like get to carry on and do other shows or movies or whatever, because I think they're really talented. So if you haven't watched Ozark and you were kind of like a Breaking Bad fan, it's kind of a similar vein. A little bit different, but with Jason Bateman, it's really good. So
nice. I love Jason Bateman.
Yeah,
So
he's awesome.
I never picture him as anything but a hilarious actor though. So it's like weird. And like I remember like Kate and I watched Ozark the first episode and I really liked it, but she didn't. So we ended up not really finishing it because it's just if we can't really both get into it, then we just don't watch it together. So, but
Yeah,
maybe I'll try to pick it up on my own because I really like Jason Bateman a lot. So he's
it's not very comedic. Like,
no, I know it's not. I know it's the opposite.
Yeah, it's more of a drama than anything, but like there is funny moments in it, and like Jason Bateman does have some like good one-liners and stuff in it, but it's more definitely like drama. But
it's not meant to be funny. I know that.
No. But it's good. It's really good. I'd recommend it to anybody. I think you can get into it for sure. Yeah, so check it out.
Sweet.
Still watching X-Files. I'm on season 4, about halfway done season 4. I'm about 83 episodes in out of 218. So I'm almost halfway done. Been about 3 weeks. So to watch 83 episodes in 3 weeks is pretty good.
That is insane.
But yeah, it's really good. I love it. X-Files. It's standing up. There's a lot of episodes I forgot about. So it's nice to kind of rewatch it and go, oh yeah, I totally don't remember this episode and kind of see it for the first time again. But
nice.
Great.
Have you ever done a full rewatch on that or no?
No, I started a few times, but like I said, like the first season's really hard to get through on the DVD version I had because it's just so dated and standard definition and like it looks really shitty. But because of the Disney Plus remasters, it actually like looks really solid. So
nice.
Yeah, you could probably get into it now and not be so like disappointed with how it looks. What's easy to read names saying here? Finally got around to painting D+ white vision to be metallic white. Looks so much better.
Sweet, man. Yeah, I actually only have that figure for parts, using it for something, but it's a cool looking figure. But yeah, it's a little bland. So, that's cool.
I think that's everything. Cool. I don't know. I can't think of anything else I watched, but I've been playing some games too.
Oh, what'd you play?
The new Kirby game I've been playing for Switch.
Nice.
It's pretty fun.
I love Kirby.
Yeah, I love Kirby. Kirby's the cutest. But so I've been playing that. Today, the new Switch sports game, if anybody remembers Wii Sports back in the day, you know, the bowling and all that, they kind of re-released it, remastered it for Switch. The Switch has like the controllers that pop off.
Oh, yeah, right.
And they have motion in them, so you can play with them. No camera needed or anything like that. It's all within the controller now. So
yeah.
It's you know, it's Switch Sports. It's great for a party or anything like that. So I've been playing a little bit of that and a game on PS5 called Nobody Saves the World, which is like a top-down action RPG, kind of in the vein of like Zelda: Link to the Past or something like that.
Nice.
Got kind of like a weird, quirky art style, and it's really, really good. I really recommend it. It's from a studio in Toronto called Drinkbox, so support Canadian developer. And I really like it. So, and then I've been listening to a ton of music.
Oh my god, you're on the fucking machine today this week.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been sleeping well, so
yeah. Well, music's for those nights.
Yeah. So the new Metric single came out, and it's fucking amazing. It's so good, dude.
Yeah.
They're fucking playing London Music Hall in August.
I mean, cool for you.
It's great, but like the capacity of London Music Hall is 1,200 people. I'm like,
nice.
This band is that small now that they're gonna play a 1,200 capacity venue. Like,
good.
All right, I love it, but
yeah, good for you. Small venues are bomb.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I'm definitely. It's only $55 a ticket, so I'm in.
Oh, even better. That's great.
Yeah.
Jesse says, "Silver Fox, have fun tonight." We were making jokes about my silver hair one before we did the Chat and Egos thing last time.
Yeah, man, it's great.
Cool. That's sweet, man. That's dope.
New Arcade Fire album next week.
Yes, I remember you telling me that. You're a big Arcade Fire fan.
One of my favorite bands.
Fucking A. What's going on for music for me? I don't think anything. That's cool.
You're listening to Enema of the State and Newfound Glory self-titled.
I am still listening to Newfound Glory self-titled, and actually I'm listening to Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. But,
I'm sorry. My mistake.
Close enough. The metrics up there in my regulars too, so that's good.
I love metrics so much.
Damian Marley as well, and then I'm also listening to Chat Migos, and then as always the shows that never leave my rotations. Conan's at the front as always.
Yeah, I know. I listened to every Metric album during this week, and
nice.
All the Arcade Fire albums, and yeah, I don't know. I've just been on a huge music kick, so
that's dope, man.
Yeah, and that's it. I can't think of anything else. That's a lot.
Hey, so I know you don't want to talk about spoilers for Doctor Strange, so I won't actually say anything, but
yeah,
to me it's pretty crazy that Disney is like spoiling shit now. It's like, right, whatever, let's fucking do it. It's just like,
I think they know it's going to leak anyway, so they might as well just get ahead of it.
Maybe. That's a good point. I mean, the thing is the things that leaked are things that like are not surprising. It's stuff that like I think we've probably even spoken about on here before.
Right.
Know? So it's just like, it's not really that surprising, but it's still, to me, I'm just like, man, if they're actually saying this shit, or like showing this, then like imagine what they're keeping to the fucking chest. Like,
yeah, let's hope there's still stuff, surprising for people that've seen them all. I didn't look at it. I'm good enough. I'm gonna go see it. I already have my ticket, so it's like,
me too.
I don't need to be convinced to go see it. I'd like to be surprised. So
yeah, me too.
Hopefully there's some surprises.
I had a friend who sent it to me, and I was like, it was an instant message, and I opened it, and it was like 3 screenshots from that trailer. But he sent it to me because it's like an official trailer, right? So he's like, we usually pass shit along anyways. But yeah, I was like, oh damn, I can't believe they're just fucking showing that. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's wild to me. But like I said, they probably know that critics are going to go see it this week, and things are going to get leaked, and might as well just get ahead of it and let it out.
I think they made it so. I think they made the embargo on reviews like Tuesday, so I think people can't even start saying anything until Tuesday.
I mean, if you're going to go see it Thursday, then I guess that makes sense. A couple days notice, but yeah. I mean, a few news things that we can get out of the way before we get into Moon Knight is came out today that John Watts, director of Spider-Man, No Way Home, and all the other Spider-Man movies there, is no longer going to direct Fantastic Four. He stepped aside, so now they have to look for a new director for Fantastic Four. Sounds like he's just kind of burnt out.
Yeah,
not that he's like tired of Disney or anything, because it sounds like he's still going to direct Spider-Man 4, whatever it's going to be called. We're going to call it Home Alone until told otherwise.
Fuck, I hope they drop the home shit.
Yeah, me too. I think it's ridiculous. But so John Watts is out, new director coming in there, and then Captain Marvel 2 and Ant-Man 3 are swapping release dates. So
so we're getting all the Captain Marvel movie first?
No, we're getting Ant-Man first.
Oh, was Captain Marvel supposed to be first initially?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is that next year too?
Captain Marvel was supposed to come out February 17th, and it's called The Marvels, but Captain Marvel 2, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was supposed to come out July 28th, 2023. They are now switching. So Ant-Man will be out in February, and The Marvels will be out July 28th. Apparently Ant-Man's way farther along, so they're delaying, I guess, Captain Marvel because it needs a lot of work still. So I don't know if that's pandemic related or reshoots or what, but
I was thinking about this actually the other day when I was I read that thing that said like Kevin Feige and top executives are at like some retreat planning the next 10 years of whatever.
Yep.
And it made me think, I'm like, man, the problem is going to be that like they're on such a tight schedule that if they ever hit any snags where they're like not satisfied with the story or something like that, like, man, that could seriously throw a huge wrench in everything. Like,
totally.
Especially because a lot of these things lean. Yeah, I know. But like that's what I'm saying is like when you're putting out that much stuff, like it's going to be harder to come up with original ideas that are good and fresh and consistently
and I mean,
appealing.
Well, and just thinking like, what happens if Fantastic Four was just going into the studio to start shooting or something like next week, and then the director drops, and then you have to delay it to find a new director and so on. Like you're seeing that right now with the new Fast and the Furious movie. Not that I'm interested in it, but the director stepped out, and apparently it's costing them $1 million a day until they find a new director. It's like, well, that's a big, hit to take. So
yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. But anyway, so we still got we got Doctor Strange, we got Thor, and then we got Black Panther, and then we'll have Ant-Man, and then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in May, and then the Marvels in July. So
damn, man, that's a lineup, eh?
Yeah, it's
like
great.
We're at the point now where there's so much I don't even try to keep track anymore. I'm just like,
and all the shows.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Even just keeping track of the movies is challenging, but when you add the shows in there too, forget about it.
Yeah, well, I think this also might make sense because the rumor is that Kang the Conqueror is a villain in Ant-Man and Quantumania or whatever the fuck.
Yes. Yeah.
So if they really want to keep on this whole like quantum realm fucking multiverse thing, it makes sense kind of to have that first, and then maybe they're kind of concluding that whole arc with that movie. I don't know, but who knows? I mean, it's hard to say, but I mean, if they're planning out the next 10 years, clearly they have a plan at least. So
yeah.
I'm
excited
and then
we go with it.
The last thing I got is, I mean, not that it really matters to me or you, but CW is canceling the Batwoman show after 3 seasons. So,
shit, really?
Yeah. So Batwoman is done, and I don't know. It sounds kind of like, I mean, it does. I don't think the show was doing well either, but the rumor is that they want to sell the CW. And so they're kind of ending all the shows that are kind of going on right now, except for a few. But also, I think that DC is really in a flux. We talked about it last week or the week before with everything going on in DC. And I think that's probably part of it, too, is they've got way too much shit going on and they have no idea what they're doing. So,
yeah, I would agree with that, too. Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do with that whole thing and Warner Brothers and DC and...
I don't know, dude. It's a mess.
I mean, I also don't care, but I mean, it's
I know you don't. But it's a mess. It's a fucking mess.
It is a fucking mess. And all that Ezra Miller shit, I just like see it and I just have to laugh because I'm just like.
But you know what? It could happen so easily to, it is kind of happening. There's, I guess, with Chris Pratt. Like, I guess Chris Pratt is kind of a fucking weirdo in real life, and there's a bunch of shit going on with that. So it's. It can happen easily. One celebrity makes, a wrong move or a bad tweet or does something stupid, and all of a sudden, there you go. That major drama. So.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, that's always a fine line. It's always a hard thing to like take a stance on and take a side on, right? Because it's just like it's pretty divided amongst what people think and what I think to a certain degree. I think cancel culture is acceptable to us for certain things, but I don't think it should be, I don't think anyone should be leading like when this guy was 12, he said this, and it's like, dude, if you're under 30, you're still making bad decisions. Like that's called life. That's just that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, if it was 25 years ago, times change.
Yeah, I agree. Totally.
Like what was acceptable in 1980 isn't acceptable now, and that's the way it should be. And words change, things change, people's viewpoints change, and you got to allow people to grow and develop and mature. And some of these actors and actresses that are making bad decisions are young teenage people or early 20s people who have a ton of money that are making bad decisions. Look at athletes, look at all the kinds of stuff. Like sometimes things are unforgivable, but sometimes you got to let people change and grow from things. So
totally.
But I mean, it's hard to separate art from the artist too, right? Like, I love, Marilyn Manson, for instance, is like one of my favorite musicians, but apparently he's a huge piece of shit. So, I mean, obviously it's all allegations, and I don't want to say like, he hasn't been put in prison or anything like that, but the stories coming out are not great. And, you know, looking at some of the stuff you've written and stuff like that, like you probably go, yeah, there was clear red flags going on here for a long time, but
absolutely.
Yeah. But again, I mean, can I enjoy his music still, even though he's a piece of shit? Like, where do you go with that? And, you know, it's hard.
For me, when it comes to that kind of stuff, I treat music a lot like comedy, where I'm like, if it catches me, or with music, if it catches me, I accept it for what it is. I like music. I'm pretty good at disassociating musicians to their music, because it's like I like to use like Jesse Lacey. Is that his name? The guy from Brand New, Jesse Lacey.
Jesse Lacey. Yeah.
It's like I love his music, and it's like I know he's done some shitty stuff, but I can't deny that I love his music still, right?
No, Brand New's probably in my top 3 favorite bands. So
yeah.
It's hard because he's a very, very talented musician. He's a very talented writer, and seeing him live was one of the best live shows I've ever seen.
Totally. I don't know how that guy's voice sustains, man. Seriously, but it's crazy.
Fucking wild, dude.
It's so wild. But it's the same with like comedy, right? You know, it's like a lot of people will be like, "Oh, well, that comedy is really racist," and I'm just like, look. Like, I get it, but it's all just jokes. Everyone's just having a laugh, right? And it's like...
The Dave Chappelle stuff, the Louis C.K. stuff, it's like, I mean, I know they're on different levels for sure, but can you go back and watch a Louis C.K. stand-up after all the shit, you know, he's done in the last few years? It's like, well, I don't know. I don't know where the right place to stand on some of those things is like, you can support the people that, you know, were affected by his actions, and then you can also support the stuff that makes you laugh. And is there a separation there? I don't know.
I know it's hard to find a stance on it.
Yeah. But
son.
Moon Knight, episode 5. Spoilers. Anybody that hasn't seen Moon Knight episode 5, we'll be spilling our thoughts on it. So go away.
Spilling our thoughts.
Yep. That's the last warning.
That's the last warning. And spoilers.
All right,
what do you think? I already know what you think, but
I think it was the best episode of the series.
Oh wow, wasn't expecting that.
I still don't think it's a great show. I still have issues with it. I don't know how they're going to resolve everything in one episode. I mean, I
apparently
feel like
apparently the shortest final episode of any Disney Plus show yet.
Saw that. It's like 40 minutes.
Not a good
I think it's going to be very rushed. I think we're not going to get a lot of concrete answers. I think it needed to be another couple episodes if this is the way they were going to unravel everything. But I thought the episode really stood up. I thought there was a lot of emotional pull in the character development and everything like that. The way it was written, the way it was acted. We finally got some like actual story about like their backgrounds and what's real and what's not real and what's exactly going on, which I thought was much needed for the show. I think there should have been like episode 3 probably, but hey, better late than never.
Sure. Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same part, you know, like for me, and it sucks because like I hate to be the guy that's like, oh, if there's no superheroes in it, is it really a superhero show? But like that's kind of where I'm at. Like to me, I'm like, it's not that I'm not enjoying it. It's just like to me, without the superhero aspect of it in place, it feels like a corny Netflix show. Is what it kind of feels like, and it's like I don't know. It's okay. I thought this episode, like you said, like it was emotional, you know, getting to see that relationship between Mark and Steven. Yep. But again, like I was like, cool, where's Moon Knight?
Yeah, like, no, I agree with that. Like I think the way the show is laid out, and I mean I had the same problem with the last one there. The way they're telling the story with Boba Fett, like the way it's told over the story arc, I feel like it's not written correctly. Like it's out of order almost. Like I think this should have been an earlier episode so you have more emotional ties to these characters and then develop the action stemming from there. And I feel like it's just a little too late in the series to be, you know, I'm glad we got it because it definitely, I liked the episode, but I finally feel like I know what the character motivations are and why they are the way they are and why, Mark is the way he is and Steven and like all that stuff. Like, I just feel like if you didn't know these characters from the comics, this is like 5 episodes into a series that maybe a lot of people didn't stick around for,
Yeah. Do you know what the general consensus is for this? Are people enjoying this? Do you know?
I think it's like, I think it's mixed. I think you either really, really like it or you really don't like it. But like my friend Brian, for instance, like absolutely adores it. He thinks it's phenomenal. I've seen a lot of reviews that are like in the high 8s and 9s for most of the series that are like, this is great. Online, I'm seeing a lot of people saying like, this is by far the best Marvel show, the best Disney Plus show, blah, 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 blah. But I think there's also some people that are like, well, it's good. It's really well acted and I'm interested in the story, but this isn't like exactly what I expected. And it lacks Moon Knight, which I think is a huge issue.
Yes, I agree. But man, you can't deny how great of an actor Oscar Isaac is, eh? Like he's just
he's incredible.
It's crazy, man. It's so crazy. He's so good.
Yeah,
he's killing it.
He's putting on a fucking class act right now, and I this episode proved it. So, he's the way he can just go back and forth between these two characters and really make you feel like they're two separate people. Yeah, it's really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, I like the whole story. I like how they intertwine, and I like how Mark basically like created Steven as like his out from like his life and his his trauma. Reality. Yeah. Pretty
I found that really powerful. His basically, if you I don't know why you're listening to this if you haven't seen it, but basically Mark used Steven to separate himself from himself as his mother was abusing him throughout his life, and basically it was just like a safe place for him to go to. So he created this persona that is just like very innocent and kind of I don't know, bumbling, adventurous character that he could kind of just go into and love Egyptian stuff, and that's where his mind went. And it's very interesting. And every time basically he had some form of trauma, he was going into being Steven. And Mark is the real person, and Steven doesn't really exist. And by the end of this episode, Steven's gone. So whether that's permanent or whether because it's a fake persona that he can just bring him back whenever he wants, or if that's, I don't know. I don't know if that was more like philosophical or if it was actually like that was the end of Steven. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard because they're still playing in this realm where even though we know a bit more about that relationship, we still don't know what's real and what, like even with Dr. Harrow or with Ethan Hawke's character, like we're still kind of like in the dark as to what that is, right? Like, or did I miss something? Was like it's weird, right? Like we don't know.
What the insane asylum?
Yeah.
No, the insane asylum was like basically like purgatory, more or less. Like it was basically the ship that they're riding. Within the ship was this insane asylum.
Yes, I remember that. Was his. I remember he opens the door, right? And
that was basically like his version of dealing with all these past memories and everything like that. And that's what that ship represented, was like basically they were traveling between death and the choice of what was coming after death, whether they were going to, the field of whatever,
Field of Reeds or whatever,
Field of Reeds, or if they were going to like the underworld, basically. And the only way for them to decide where they were heading was if he, resolved all these past issues. And so they could slowly unravel the history of his life and how he got to that point. And I think the reason the scales wouldn't balance is because he was two people with two very different interpretations of life. And to be able to balance the scales, he had to resolve the imbalance within himself, kind of thing. So, I think it was a very like philosophy heavy, but
yes,
I enjoyed like seeing his like childhood and like him dealing with his brother's death and him feeling responsible for that. And, like it pulled on my heartstrings.
Mm. Yeah, it was. Yeah, there were some definitely like some tragic moments in this where you like totally feel for like kid Mark, right? Where you're just like,
Totally.
Man, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I still wish they would have shown more with the Moon Knight stuff. Like, I really thought that, you know, we see him die and Khonshu coming in and, you know, giving him the choice of staying alive if he becomes his avatar and whatever. And I really thought that that was going to interlude into a scene of him with the powers and actually, like, you know, punching people in the face and giving justice or whatever for Khonshu, and like that was gonna be a flashback scene of like, but really all we got is all the people he murdered as a mercenary. Like we never really got that action scene, you know?
Right. Yeah.
I think that would have really helped the episode, but
yeah,
it seems like they
2092 started following me. Thank you.
Oh, right on.
That's nice.
Yeah, I really wish there was more action in these episodes rather than philosophy heavy and narrative heavy. But
I get it, but also it's like we just did 2 full episodes basically with no Moon Knight. It's like
yeah, I think they really want to differentiate it from the rest of the MCU.
I see that.
Yeah, like I think they really don't want it to be a superhero show, and I think they really. I don't know if we always say that like there's so many things within the MCU that are so similar in story beats, and you know we know that the villain's going to get introduced, and by Act 3 the villain's dead, and we're moving on, and the character learns something, and that's the end of the story. And I feel like they really want to build out this world and break that history and do something different with this show, which is great. But
yeah, I agree.
It needs more Moon Knight. It needs more action. It needs more superhero, you know, pounding and stuff like that. And like, I just feel like there really should have been an episode in here that's like more like Daredevil, where it was like, yeah, he's going into a building and fucking just beating the shit out of people. And, yeah. But
that maybe that'll be next episode.
I don't know, man.
Like, to me, it's just weird that like, you know, there's, you know, 40 minutes times 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's like under 10 minutes of Moon Knight footage.
Totally. Now, is that a budget thing? Did they not want to spend huge on the show? Is it a show because they were like, you know what, we can get away with this without doing a ton of CG and a ton of, I mean, obviously like all the Egyptian gods are all CG, but I mean, there's not a lot of stuff in it that like they couldn't just do live action, right? Like there's not a lot of CG in the show other than the costume and the gods.
Yeah.
And the dogs, I guess, that were chasing him in the early episodes. But like,
yeah, I guess. Comparatively to other superhero shows.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, maybe it was a budget thing. Maybe they wanted this to be a lower budget show. Maybe they didn't want to have a CG heavy show. I don't know. I don't know what the reasoning is for it, but it does feel different. It feels weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, like I am enjoying it, but I'm not enjoying it to the point where I'm like, you know, like once I've watched this, I probably won't revisit it. I can't see myself revisiting it. It's not really like compelling enough to me to really, you know, unless they really wrap it up in a nice bow and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, fuck me. Okay. But
yeah, I agree. I mean, it's not a show I'd rewatch.
Yeah. Like a one and done.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like they don't plan on making it a sequel series, but
yes, I heard that.
I don't know. I don't know what else do you do with this character? How else do you tie this into the world that you haven't really tied it into at all? Like,
yeah.
You know, maybe in the last episode he meets another character and all of a sudden, you know, that's his into the bigger MCU world or something. Yeah. I don't know. But
yeah. It'd be weird though to not see Moon Knight again. It's like I know he's not a super popular character, but it would be weird to especially introduce something that I feel like is for the most part getting a decent amount of love in terms of like Oscar Isaac playing that character, right? So
sure.
It'd be weird for
But-
them to do this and then like we just never see Moon Knight again.
But maybe they want to keep some of these, heroes to television, and like if they're bringing back like Daredevil as a television show, and like maybe they're thinking about bringing back like Punisher or Jessica Jones or any of these shows that they've carried over to Disney Plus now. Maybe they do want to have that like Defenders type team up show eventually, where they've built all these characters into TV shows, and they can keep that world contained within the TV universe and stuff like that. Like, instead of bringing it into the movies or whatever. But you think with Oscar Isaac, like, I don't know. To me, you want him in your movies. You want him because he's just a great actor.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I know. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's fine. I don't. It's like I'm not really looking forward to next week. Like I'll watch it obviously, but like
way more excited for Doctor Strange.
Oh my god, dude! I'm just so excited for Doctor Strange. I am ready.
You see that Thursday night?
I'm seeing it Thursday night at 6:30. So
I'm seeing it Friday at 4:00. I think so.
Nice. Yeah, so I'm fucking pumped, man. I'm so stoked. I can't wait.
Same.
So I got my 3D D-Box.
Ugh.
It's good.
I hate 3D. I don't know why you do that to yourself.
I love 3D, and I love D-Box too.
Yeah, I know you do, and I hate it.
Flip me all over.
Yeah, that's what she said. No, I don't want to move while I'm in a theater. That's my whole point of not moving. I just want to like lay and watch,
D-Box is especially dope in like Star Wars movies or space movies, because
Episode 1,
the
pod
scene
racing.
will actually just like slowly kind of like ease it over a scene, or like, oh, it's great. It's so good. I've been watching these two Australian guys, The Weekly Planet. They're like a podcast I watch every week, listen to every week. And they have a YouTube channel, and they do these things called Caravan of Garbage. And the idea is it's like they're supposed to take like something that's like not great from pop culture history, and they usually relate it to like something that's coming out. So right now, because they're getting ready for Obi-Wan to come out, they're doing like 6 weeks of Star Wars prequel content.
Oh, Jesus.
And then the first one was fucking hilarious. They did Phantom Menace the other day. Oh my god. Oh yeah, see, you go. Happy Accident joined. It says Nick and Mason. Yes.
Happy Accident started following me as well, so thank you.
Oh, nice. That's great. Yeah, man, I love them. They're so fucking funny. They have so many inside jokes, and they're just so good. Happy Accident says, I was listening to them, and I remember when they did the very first episode of Caravan of Garbage. Oh, nice. I don't know what that one was. I've been listening to them for like probably almost 4 or 5 years now. Like, it's been a long time.
That's the best part with like
the very beginning.
Podcasts and stuff that you followed for a long time is like there's so many little inside jokes and stuff like that that like if you just hop on, you're kind of missing some of the magic. But like, last podcast on the left, which is one of my favorite podcasts. Yeah, like there's just so many little inside things. I've been listening to them for 7 years now. So it's like, yeah, like
crazy.
You pick up on that. If you hopped in and listened to one episode, you'd be like, I have no idea what they're talking about. But
yeah, you probably miss a bunch. Well, it's funny because one of the fan things they read last week. So they have all these little theme musics for like all the different segments, and one of the things is what are we watching and what are we reading, and they do this little theme song, and over the last like 2 years, since they've been waiting for Westworld's newest season to come out, at the end he just says Westworld in the middle of the song, and he's been doing it for like 2 years. And like the other day they talked about how it makes no sense to people, because if you just jumped in, you would be like, what the fuck? Why does he say that every time?
Right.
And the person on like that wrote in said like, I'm re-listening to all the old stuff, and he's like, I'm super excited to finally stumble across the first time when you do it. And like, I'm like, man, I remember listening to it and the first time he did it. So
yeah, now Westworld, I totally forgot about that show, and it's been forever. I was so into the first season of that show. That show is so fucking good in its first season, and I cannot get through the second season. I've watched the first like 6 episodes, I think 3 times, and I've still yet never finished the season. And then there's a 3rd season, and I've never seen any of it. But I got to get back into that show because that show is so fucking good.
Yeah, I never really got too into it myself. So
the first season's great, but
yeah, I've heard good things. I actually have the first season on like a USB stick or something like that. Like somebody gave it to me.
But yeah, like I used to listen to the Funhouse podcast. It's a YouTube channel that I like, and they did this segment called "Mount Up for Morbius." The guy was like doing like a joke. Basically, when Morbius first got announced, it was like, I don't know, maybe 2 months before Morbius was supposed to first come out.
Yeah.
And so he was doing a joke about like, oh, let's get excited for Morbius because how bad it's going to be. And like he was doing like Morbius trivia and whatever. And then it got delayed for like a year. And he's like, oh no, what have I done? And then it got delayed another year. So literally every time he hosts the podcast, he's like, fuck, I guess I got to do another Mount Up for Morbius. Like,
oh god. Well, they just did, the Weekly Planet just did Monthbius. And the idea was that they were going to do Morbius. They have like their own like Patreon service that you can pay and get extra shit. And like one of the things they do is the Fancy Book Club, and it's like they read a comic book and then they kind of do like a podcast about it. And they were doing like Morbius themed stuff. And then after the first week of Morbius, they like basically just trash it, like destroy it in the review. And then after that, they basically cancel Monthbius. And it's just like, it's so good. It's so funny.
Yeah, that's great. I mean,
I love podcasts, man, and I love.
So do I. I
love the long running ones.
Yeah, like I used to listen to a lot of like PlayStation podcasts and stuff like that had like ongoing jokes throughout them. And like back in the day, like I was a huge IGN guy, which is like a video game website for people that aren't into that. They had all kinds of podcasts and stuff there that I was like decade listener long of just like, you know, hundreds of episodes of the show that had all these little inside jokes. So when you really get into like a pod for a long time, it's just like even Conan and stuff, like he had so many little inside little, you know, jokes with them. Yeah. It's great.
So many.
Oh, Nike Boy is in the chat too.
Boy?
Hey,
good going, man.
What up? So I love podcasts, man.
Me too. They're the best. So fun. Yeah. I really like the Always Sunny one. Those guys are fucking hilarious, man. I really hope that the girl, I can't remember her name, but whoever the girl who plays Dee, I hope she jumps in at some point. Are her and McElhaney married? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Why can't? Well, as soon as you said that, her name completely left my mind. Caitlin Olsen.
Caitlin Olsen, that's right.
Yeah, I know. Her and Mac are married.
She jumped on was great.
Yeah, the drunk episode.
So good.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Him and Rob are married, and then Charlie and the waitress are married.
That's fucking hilarious. I'm so sure.
Yeah, the waitress is Charlie's wife. So, yeah, it's great.
That's great. Love it. Yeah, that's a good one. Man, there's so many good ones. I've been listening to.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem, right? It's like there's only so much time in the week that like you could listen to an endless amount of podcasts and you fill your entire week, and like you just got to leave time for, you know, music and everything else. So it's like I usually listen to like 6-7 different podcasts maybe a week, but
like when you're at work and you are listening to a podcast, are you absorbing all that when you like you are? Yeah. See, I can't, like, sometimes I space out.
I do sometimes too, but like usually I listen to a podcast as I'm biking to work because it's so monotonous that like all I do is pay attention to like what they're talking about or whatever. And then usually when I get to work, I'll put on like a couple albums as I'm working. And then like once I'm into a routine where I got things, you know, going, I can't like listen to like dialogue and write like orders or something at work. Like if I'm focusing on something else, I can't really pay attention to what they're talking about. But if I'm just doing something monotonous, I can listen and focus.
Yeah.
But I mean, it helps that I don't have to deal with the customers and all that kind of stuff. You're like, I couldn't do that in a job where, you know, I have 16 other things going on.
That's the thing for me is like, I'll listen to podcasts all day long, but then I like really only absorbed maybe like 50% of it. That's probably why I listen to a lot of things multiple times. Is like, that's how I absorb it. That's how I actually get the full version. I'm usually like, Okay, by the time I've listened to this 3 times, I pretty much have got it, I think.
Yeah.
Like most of it.
But that's
anyway.
that's how you are with shows and stuff too, though, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
So, but I'm very much one of those people that, like, you know, like even when I was home, like between The Office and Arrested, like I literally have seen Arrested Development seasons 1 to 3 25 times. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that's being probably generous. Like, I've seen it so many fucking times. I've had times where I've literally went from season 1 to 3 in like 4 or 5 days, and then just started it over again. Like as soon as I was finished, like,
yeah.
It's one of those things that I can have on in the background and I can just pay attention to for 1 second, and I'm getting the
I love that. Have you even heard what a bird sounds like?
Yeah, they all have like different chicken versions or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great. There is a few shows that I've watched, like Breaking Bad. I've probably seen all of it like 3 or 4 times, and like Seinfeld I've watched through a couple times. The Office probably like 4 or 5 times. But I need like a break, like in between rewatches. Like I just go through like a rhythm of like, okay, I finally have caught up on all shows that are airing right now. I'll dive into something as a rewatch, and I'll like, okay, it's time to rewatch The Office or Friends or Seinfeld or whatever, and I'll slowly go through that. But like, I always need to have a show, basically. So if there's nothing airing, like once Survivor and all that stuff is done in the summer, I'll just probably go back and rewatch like The Office or something, and just here's an episode a day, here's an episode while I'm eating dinner, you know, whatever.
Yeah, you do that a lot though. Like I find you always have, like you just said, you always have something. There's always the one main thing you're watching, and then after that is so.
Yeah,
Nike boy language.
Yeah, no, I talked about Better Call Saul earlier in the episode. It gets better. Stick with it. Like I think the first season of Better Call Saul is probably the weakest season of the show. It gets better every season, and it gets more intense, and definitely, like without spoiling anything for you, definitely has Breaking Bad tie-ins. So if you love Breaking Bad, like definitely stick with it because it's phenomenal. It's really well done. Yeah. It's great.
Nice.
I love shows. I love good TV. I can't help it.
How do you like my glasses?
That's nerdy as shit.
You like that?
I love it. You look like fucking Egon or something.
Egon.
Happy accidents. Peace and out. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
Nike boy says sweet. Yeah.
Force fix.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's it for this episode. I don't think we got anything else we need to dive into tonight.
You don't have anything else to dive into tonight.
Thanks. That's what I just said.
You're welcome. Hey, I watched on the flight home. I watched Dune again too. That's something else I watched.
Nice. I still got to do a rewatch on it.
I rewatched it with subtitles, so I actually got it all this time. It was good.
I bought it on 4K, so I want to give it a watch one night. But yeah,
nice.
That movie's pretty. So
it's very pretty, and it's a great movie. I was super excited to see where it goes.
I gotta read the book,
dude. I feel like that's a slippery slope.
Oh yeah, because there's like I think 6 books, so
lots.
But if I was saying this at work the other night, is like I would totally love if I had the ability to just like take a leave of absence from work for like 3 months and just like go camping for 3 months. Just like go to like Wheatley, set up a fucking lawn chair in a tent and just literally read like 100 books for like 3 months. Just sit there and read by the lake and just fucking chill. Like that's my ideal vacation.
I would customize, but yes, that would be great.
Yeah, bring your table. Come with me, man. We'll both take a leave of absence.
That'd be great.
Would be great.
It's weird. I've never thought more about how I want to quit than I do right now. And it's not even because I don't like my job. It's just because I'm like, imagine just not working. How good would that be?
I literally think about walking out of my store every single night. I get to my job and I go, fuck, do I hate this place? I would love to walk out right now.
Way different than mine. Your situation is way different.
I understand, but yeah, fuck.
Yours is way worse. Like you know, to be clear, mine is like serious, like fucking like privileged people problems. Yours is just like your job is mentally ripping you in half, and like you need to fucking get out of there like as soon as
Yeah, I'm
fucking
with a
possible.
big giant ball of stress and anxiety, and God, would I love to just leave and never look back. No, I if I had a choice, I would never go into a grocery store again for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
I fucking
can't really
hate grocery
say.
stores.
I know. I definitely have lost. They've lost their luster for me to a certain degree.
Yeah. Well, that was job adult talk.
And I was gonna say, anybody who doesn't actually know us is like, why are these guys talking about grocery stores? What this fucking weird podcast?
We both work in grocery stores. It's the worst. I don't recommend it.
I don't. Well, I mean, I
do
also
anything
don't
else
really
with your life.
recommend it.
Go to school. Do anything. Be a hooker before you fucking work in a grocery store.
Take it from Ryan.
Yeah. Nike boy says, God, I worked in a grocery store as well. Worst time of my life. Yeah. It's honestly, if you guys haven't seen the show Superstore, we recommended it way back in the day, but watch that show, and that is exactly what it is working in retail. Okay. It's exact representation of it.
Another good one, if you're interested, is what's the promotion with John C. Reilly and
I haven't seen it in forever.
Stifler. What's the guy who plays Stifler?
Oh,
Stifler.
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Something Scott?
John William Scott.
John William Scott. Sean or John? Sean.
Sean
William Scott. Yeah. So him and John C. Reilly are competing for an assistant manager job at a new opening at a grocery chain that's opening a new store in like the area, and they compete, and it's hilarious. They try to like sabotage each other. It's fucking
good.
Great. It's very funny. Were you the one that showed me that? Or was it?
Yeah, I think we watched it together.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Fuck, man.
It's
a good one.
Time stop.
I know.
Like, there's things that like people are like, that movie came out like 10 years ago, and I'm like, feels like it came out yesterday. Don't understand it.
Well, I mean, it's funny because I even think about it, and I'm like, it's not that long ago. It's just before I moved, and then Kate would be like, "You moved 14 years ago." It's like, right.
But you could literally convince me, like, I know it's been 14 years, but that literally feels like it was like 3 years ago.
I know.
Like, when you moved and we took that road trip together, like, that was like one of my favorite trips of all time. And it's almost 15 years ago.
I know.
Doesn't make sense.
Had the only complaint I had about that is I wish my car had cruise control.
Yeah.
Because I drove 3 days straight for like one day, like 17 hours.
Yeah, the last day was bad.
The last day was really bad. And like I didn't have cruise control.
And you were tired as shit. And I was tired as shit. And I was literally falling asleep in the car. And I'm like, I can't fall asleep because then Matt will fall asleep and we'll die. So I have to stay awake.
Remember we bought those cigars, those little...
We bought fucking cigarillos or whatever.
Yeah, we would just like puff on those, windows down, Panic at the
And we
Disco
put on Panic at the Disco on like 100 volume. It was the greatest.
That was pretty good. So fun.
Road trips.
Sugarloaf Road.
Yeah, Sugarloaf Road. Only like a 45-hour drive. What's that?
It's making its second appearance on the podcast. Sugarloaf Road.
Nobody understands it but us. Great content.
Unless the owner of Sugarloaf Motel is like, hey, these guys are talking about my hotel.
Was that in Montana?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't remember.
I think it was. Montana was the second day. The second day. Oh, was it? Yeah, I think it was. I think Montana was most of the second day, I think.
Well, if you live in Montana and you know Sugarloaf Road, write us and let us know.
Please.
Because
that's where we stay. It's true. It's a major milestone in our relationship.
We should go there for our anniversary. We'll we'll get the heart-shaped hot tub in our room.
I love it. That's funny.
All right, well, that's the end of this episode. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Next week, obviously, we will be doing the Moon Knight finale and Doctor Strange into the Multiverse of Madness spoilers. If you're not already following Matt on YouTube, go over to his YouTube channel, throw him a follow. Watch his Work in Progress Wednesdays. Follow him on Instagram at Customs by Matthew. I don't know why you're doing such an angry face, but it's scaring me. You can follow me at Moosmouth Media on Instagram, or you can go, I have a YouTube channel as well on there that all the back episodes are on as well, or you can get the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever podcast service you use. Our art is done by Atienne Milnard. What's that, sorry?
I said, look at you and all your options.
Yeah, man.
So many options.
And we appreciate you all in the chat and giving us follows and everything like that. So if you haven't already, give us follows on all those services, and we'll see you guys next week.
It's gonna be a good one.
See you, buddy.
See ya.